10 o'clock. So this is Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. strength. Today you will need a set of hand weights. And what I'm going to focus on today, I mean, it'll be total body to a degree, but what we're really going to focus on is back and glutes, and then a little bit of core activation too, because while we need to strengthen every muscle in our body, these are areas that if we can keep them strong, it's what keeps us upright, and just it helps keep that natural stride where we don't start to kind of round in on ourselves. So that's what we're really going to focus on today, is keeping that support through the middle part of the body. Okay, we're going to jump right into it. We are going to start with our left arm forward. Left leg forward, right foot back, and all 10 toes are pointed forward. Okay, so this back heel is up. And then I want you to just really focus on that rotation of the hips. Make sure the hips are pointed forward, and you should automatically feel a little bit of an opening in this front hip. Bring your arms up and then roll the shoulders back and down. Lift the chest. You should feel a nice activation through the back. And then from here, we're going to hinge forward over this front thigh. Squeeze the behind and lift back up. Now, if this doesn't feel good, you can just hinge forward and hold. Otherwise, you're going to hinge forward and lift up. We're going to do this 8 times. Keep that lift in the chest. We're really starting to activate the lower back here. You should feel this between the shoulder blades too, if you've really got those shoulder blades rolled back and down. One more. This time we're going to hover, pull the arms to the side, extend back like you're doing a tricep press. Come overhead, extend back. So if when you go forward, you start to round, just do this little tricep extension and stay right there. Keep going. Last one, arms come back overhead, lift up, and then we're just going to lift and lower this back heel. 4 more. Last one. Good. Step forward, lean forward, stretch it out. And other side. Left foot steps back, right foot forward. Okay, tiny little bend in the knees. All 10 toes pointed forward. Rotate the hips where they're pointing straight in front of you, and bring the arms overhead. Roll the shoulders back and down, lift the chest. And then we're going to hinge forward and come up. Hinge forward, come up. Keep going. 4 more. Okay, this next one we're going to hold. Pull the hands down to the shoulders, extend back. Overhead, extend back. Really keep that lift in the chest. Okay, extend the arms overhead, rise up, and lift and lower the back heel. 4 more. Last one. Step forward, lean forward, shake it out. Okay. We're going to come to the wall. I really hope you guys can see what I'm about to do here. I'm going to demonstrate, let me step forward. I'm going to demonstrate before I go to the wall what I'm trying to accomplish here. We're going to stand with our backs facing the wall. We're going to get nice and tall, and we're a little bit away from the wall. You'll have to modify how far based on how challenging this is. And what we're trying to do is press our elbows against the wall to hinge forward, to lean our whole body forward. So I really hope you guys can see what I'm doing here. So I'm like slightly leaned against So the top half of my body's leaned against the wall, but then I'm stepped away with the bottom half. You're gonna press into the elbows to lift yourself up off the wall. And what you really wanna focus on here, this is the important part, is pulling those shoulders back and down. Try and squeeze the shoulder blades together. This is another one. It's really good to help keep everything open through here. And then get to the top as far lifted off the wall as you can get and just go into a little pulse. Okay, good. Shake it out. Okay, we're gonna come into a wide leg, standing, good morning. Okay, so bring your hands to your hips, slight bend in your knees, press your weight into the outsides of your feet and start to hinge forward. Now notice, I have a nice flat back here, okay? So you've got a nice flat back and you're either gonna stay here and lift up through the chest and do little pulses, which is really gonna help activate your lower back. Or if this feels okay, you're going to extend your arms overhead. You're gonna squeeze your behind to rise up, and then you're gonna hinge forward again with that nice flat back. Really squeeze your behind here. Keep a soft bend in the knees. You do not wanna lock out your knees here. Couple more. Okay, good. Down to the mat. We are going to start with bridges. So in bridges, your feet are hip distance apart. This is where you guys might start having trouble hearing me. This is why I don't use this headset anymore, because when I'm on my back, it falls down. But we're going to go into these standard bridges. Feet are hip distance apart. Press into the heels and bridge the hips up. Squeeze at the top and drop the knees in to touch each other. If this feels unstable or it causes knee or lower back pain, don't do that part. Lower down, lightly touch the mat and go back up. Squeeze at the top, tap the knees together, come back to hip distance with the knees, lower down, barely touch the mat, go back up. Squeeze at the top, rock the knees in, bring them back open. Keep going. Couple more of these. Okay, this next one we're gonna hold at the top, give it a nice squeeze through the glutes, and then just rock the knees in and out for 8. 2 more. Okay, lower the hips, bring the feet together, bring the knees together. Try and keep these 2 points of contact. You are not going to get as high up on these, and that's normal. Press into your heels and your arms, bridge your hips up. Squeeze at the top, lower down, lightly tap the mat, go right back up. Couple more. Hold at the top, pulse. 4 more. Lower down, pull your knees into your chest, stretch it out. Okay, flip over onto your belly. Okay, so we are going to start with what's called a Superman bird dog. And I really hope you guys can see what I'm doing here. Hopefully between the video and my description, this will make sense. What you're gonna do is your chin slightly lifted up off the floor, arms are extended out. You're gonna lift your right leg, keep it nice and straight, and left arm. You're gonna open both up to the side about 2 inches, bring it back in and lower down. Lift the left leg, straight leg, right arm, open up about 2 inches, bring it in and down, and repeat. Keep going. Next time you lift that right leg and left arm, stay right here, move in and out for 8. And other side, in and out for 8. Okay, now we're going to go into Superman pulls. So you're going to lift both arms, both legs. Pull the elbows back, roll the shoulders back and down, lift up through the chest, extend the arms out and come back down. Lift up, pull back, roll the shoulders back and down. That part's really important. Extend out and come down. Keep going. Make sure you're breathing. We tend to hold our breath or breathe really shallow when we've got that compression on our bellies and our diaphragm. If we can learn to breathe deep through this, we can breathe deep through anything. Couple more. Okay, so we're gonna hold at the top here and we're gonna extend and pull back. Extend, pull back. Keep going. 3 more. Last one. And let's push back and stretch it out for a second. You should feel a really nice, big activation through your lower back right now. Okay, grab your weight. We are going to go into tabletop rows. So you should have felt this last exercise right through this lower part of your back. This next exercise, we're kind of moving up. And you should feel this through this middle part of your back, your latissimus dorsi. So come to your tabletop. You're going to hold your weights and position your hands slightly, just slightly ahead of your shoulders. Really solid up your core. Find those muscles all the way around the trunk of the body. Pull them in to support the spine. Slow and controlled. Try only to move the arm and nothing else. You're going to draw this elbow back towards the waist, keep it hugged into the body, and slowly lower down. Try to shift to the other side without physically moving anything else on the body. Now, you only go as high as you can go without having to rotate or change that plane of motion. So we're moving in this one plane of motion. Our elbows grazing across our waist. And that's where we want to stay. So don't feel like the higher you get, the better. Instead, you're really focusing on that squeeze in the middle part of the back. Keep going. A couple more. Last one each side. Okay. On back down on our bellies. So this time we're going to rest. We're going to create this little padding with our hands to rest our chin on. We're going to bend our legs and touch our toes together. And then we're going to try and lift our hips up off the floor without releasing that toe touch. Few more. Hold at the top and pulse. 4 more. And stretch it out one more time. And come to a standing position. Okay. So we should be good and warm now to start doing some standing body weight stuff. And we're going to start with squats. So I think everybody knows by now all the modifications for squats and which one suits you best, but let me run through them real quick. You can always just do a slow sit onto a chair. So the most important thing you want to do is instead of shifting your knees forward, you're shifting your hips back. That's the most important thing. If you notice, the position of my knees really doesn't change. So feet are hip distance apart. Try and stay lifted through the chest as you squat. There's going to be some hinging forward, but we're trying to fight against it by lifting in the chest. But don't make the mistake of just lifting through the chin. You want to keep your chin fairly parallel with the floor. Squeeze through your behind to bring you back up. And this part's really important. If we can focus on this butt squeeze, then we're shifting the weight to our behinds, which is what we're trying to activate. Drive down through your heels. Now we're going to hover and pulse. Squeeze the behind. Lift up through the chest. As soon as you lift up through the chest, you should feel an engagement in your lower back. Good. Come up, stretch it out, and grab your weights. We're going to go into double arm bent rows. So, if you were really starting to feel fatigue through your lower back during the squats, I really encourage you to sit down and do this, because this requires some core. So we're going to bring our feet fairly close together. We've got a somewhat generous bend in our knees. Again, lift up through the chest. Hinge forward. See how my back stays nice and flat? Arms come perpendicular to the floor. Hug in all those core muscles around the spine. Pull the elbows in towards the waist. Squeeze the behind and pull in all those core muscles. This helps support this middle part of the body. Okay, we're going to hold at the top and pulse. Keep those shoulders pulled back and down. Hugging all the muscles, all those muscles around the spine. And bring the weights all the way down. Okay, we're going back to the mat for a minute. This next one can be a little rough. So there's lots of modifications, and if all else fails, I encourage you to go back to the tabletop rows, because you're going to activate a lot of the same muscles without compromising all these muscles in your lower back, which if you don't feel good and steady in this exercise, you're going to do. So again, you can always go back to the tabletop rows. So here's your option. I'm going to start out in a modified plank. So you guys can do this in modified, and then you can decide if you want to come up into a regular plank. So you're in this plank, you're going to extend the left arm out, bring it out to the side, tap it behind the back, and bring it back. Other side, out, to the side, tap the back, forward and down. So you can stay there, or you can come up into a regular plank. One more each side. And stretch it out. Okay, back up. Grab one weight. And we're going to come into static lunges. Let's start with our left leg forward, right leg back. You can always grab a wall or a piece of furniture if you don't feel steady. Make sure that back heel is lifted and that the knees are pointing in the same direction as the toes. Bring the weight to the chest. Bend both knees evenly. Okay, this next one we're going to hold in the middle and pulse. Okay, spin and drop this back heel and hinge forward to prop yourself on this left arm, or prop yourself on a piece of furniture if you're feeling fatigued through your core. Create a nice flat surface with your back. It's super important. Row back, let that elbow hug the waist. Okay, hold this next one at the top and pulse. Keep that shoulder pulled back and down. Good. Come up. Shake it all out. Roll the hips around. Other side. Right foot forward. Left foot back. Left heel is up. Knees point the same direction as the toes. Bring the weight to the chest. Bend both knees evenly. Okay, pause in the middle and pulse. Hinge forward, spin and drop that back heel. Nice flat back, flat as you can get it. Roll the shoulder back and down. Let the elbow graze the waist. Again, it's really important to keep that shoulder pulled back and down. This next one, pulse at the top and pulse. Okay, weight down, come up, shake it out, roll the hips around. Okay, we're gonna go back to the wall and we're gonna go back to this little scapular exercise that we're doing. And hopefully this time you can feel more activation in your shoulders than your back. And so maybe you even wanna step your feet a little further away from the wall. So remember, shoulders stay pulled back and down. As you press your elbows into the wall, you're trying to press your shoulder blades together in the middle part of your back. Couple more. And we're gonna pause at the top and pulse. Good, come out of it. Go ahead and stretch out your arms for just a second. And we're going down to the mat. Okay, oops. Okay, so we are going to start on our mat with what I think is one of the most challenging core exercises, and go ahead and get it out of the way. And that's a rotating side plank So let me just say, if you struggle with side plank, I encourage you to come into this modified side plank, focus on that straight line, and I'll tell you when we're halfway through and you go ahead and flip to the other side. Otherwise, we're gonna go into rotating side plank. So that's, you're gonna come up and then place one hand beside the other and pop up to the other side. So this should be a slow, controlled movement where you're opening the body completely up before you switch sides. Okay, if you're holding a side plank, go ahead and switch to the other side. One more each side. And come down. Okay. Now we're gonna come into donkey kicks. Y'all know I love the donkey kicks, and I really do, because it really helps to isolate like the gluteus medius, which we tend to let other muscles compensate for, so that really helps give us a strong foundation. So as you go through this series, if you can remember to focus, hopefully y'all can see where I'm pointing, to this middle part of your behind, and just focus on that squeeze. Make sure you can really feel it, because that's what we're always trying to activate. That's another one of those things that hold our pelvis in place and keep us upright our whole lives. So come to your tabletop, pull all the muscles in around your spine, try and stay nice and stable through the rest of your body so you don't have a lot of shimmying going on. As you extend this right leg out, then you're gonna pull the knee in towards the chest and press that heel up behind you. If this feels like too much of a strain on your hip or lower back, then bend the knee as you come up. Two more. Hold this next one at the top and pulse. And remember, you can do this with a bent leg too. Okay, this next one, we're gonna open the leg up to the side and tap the floor beside us and come back. If that feels like too much, just pull the knee into the side. Try and make the body as still as you can. You're gonna shimmy a little bit here, but try and keep it as still as you can. Two more. Okay, now we're gonna come into fire hydrant. Same side, open straight out to the side. And stretch it out. Okay, other side. So sit up in your tabletop, hug in all those core muscles, extend your left leg back, pull it in towards the belly button, press the heel up. Again, bend the knee if you need to. Okay, this next one we're gonna hold at the top and pulse. Okay, rotate out to the side, tap the toe down, bring it back. What I find about this exercise that's interesting is you tend to feel it on the stabilizing leg more. Two more. And bring it parallel and fire hydrants. And stretch it out. Almost there. Come onto your back. Okay. So you've always got the option to come back into your standard bridge. So if this next one causes you any lower back or hip pain, please don't do it. You can always go back into the standard bridge. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together, and we're going to press our shoulders and the outsides of our feet into the mat to bridge up. This is another time you can really focus on that contraction in the middle part of your glute, middle part of your behind. Really make sure you're activated. Couple more. Hold at the top and pulse. And pull it in. Okay. This is the last one, by the way. Bring your feet together, your knees together. Flex your hands and press up off of your shoulders and your head. So if this feels super uncomfortable, just bring your hands behind your head. Hold here. And then you can either stay here or lift the arms up and bring both to the outside of the right leg. Lift up. Bring both to the outside of the left leg. Lift up and then press forward. Lift up. Bring both to the outside of the left leg. Lift up. Right leg. Lift up and forward. Up. Right. Up. Left. Up. Forward. Up. Left. Up. Right. Up. Forward. Keep going. One more round each side. Forward and hold. And bring it down. Okay, let's flip over on our bellies. We're going to come into this little sphinx. Elbows under the shoulders, lift up through the chest and pull in the belly button. You should feel a nice supported little back bend. So let's just stay here. Okay, we're going to come down on our belly. We're going to bring our left arm out to a 90-degree angle, and we're going to press our right hand flat into the mat beside our right shoulder. We're going to lift up with our right leg. We're going to bend our right leg, lift up, and then press into that right hand to start to drop that right leg over. So you should feel this in your right hip and your left shoulder. And come out of it. Other side, right hand to 90 degrees, press into the left hand, bend the left leg, lift the knee, and drop over. Unwind and come center. Press into both hands. And then step the right foot forward. So make sure y'all can see me good for this first round. Okay, so I've got two 90-degree angles with my knees. I'm gonna tilt my pelvis under. So it's like I'm trying to pull my belly button in. And you should feel a good stretch through this front leg. And then if you'd like to interlace the hands behind the back to open up the shoulders, but if you find that you're doing this bring your hands to your lower back and press into your lower back to open your shoulders. Just make sure you keep that pelvic tilt. That's the most important part. And other side. 2 90-degree angles, pelvic tilt. Grab your hands behind your back or press them to your lower back. Okay, come to a seated position. We're going to stretch our hips really good. So you're either going to cross this right leg in front of you or bring it out straight, depending on where you are in your hip flexibility right now. And then cross the left leg over so that we're trying to stack the knees. So whether your leg is out straight or bent, you're trying to get these knees stacked. And then you can either grab onto the ankles, or if you've got this right leg straight, then grab this knee. But use those points of leverage to pull your chest forward and roll your shoulders back and down. And you should feel how that kind of shifts the angle of your pelvis and gives you a better stretch. And remember, deep breathing always helps you get deeper into the stretch, especially your hip stretches. And then we're going to take our right hand to this left knee. We're going to take our left hand, put it on the mat close behind our bodies. We're going to press into that left hand to lengthen the spine. And then we're going to pull with the right hand to rotate towards the left. And slowly unwind, other side. Remember, you can always straighten that left leg out if you need to. Find your 2 points of leverage to grab onto. Pull your chest up, roll your shoulders back and down, and then breathe deep into your tight spots. Okay, we're going to grab the right knee with the left hand. Right hand comes close behind the body. Press into the right hand to lengthen the spine. Pull with the left hand to rotate towards the right. And slowly unwind. Come all the way to standing. One more stretch. Okay. We're going to come back to this wide-legged stance. Bent knees, slightly bent. Press the outsides of the feet into the floor. Come down. And then we're going to, with a straight arm, we're going to slowly start to rotate this right arm all the way up. And we're going to turn to look at it as we go. And slowly come back down. See if you can keep these hips in a fixed position as you do that. And that way, all the rotation is coming from the spine instead of us just shifting our hips. Four more. Last one. And other side. So slowly watch that hand as it moves up. Follow it with your gaze. Keep your hips in a fixed position. You should feel a nice stretch on the inside of the opposite thigh too. Four more. Last one. And then while we're here, walk the hands forward as far as you can without changing the position of the hips. Relax down, press the heels into the mat. Walk your hands to the right. Pass through center, walk your hands to the left. Come back to center before you come up. Deep bend in the knees, engage the glutes to come up. Good job. Just so everybody knows, we are waiting to hear what's going to happen next week. If we're moving into phase 2, as soon as I know something, I'm going to send out an email letting you know what our plans are going to be there. I think I've told everybody by now, but in case I haven't, we're going to start with a modified schedule. Some in studio classes, some online, so that we're meeting everybody's needs based on whatever you're at, wherever you're at, whether you want to stay at home or come out. And don't forget, Autumn has 1 p.m. chair yoga tomorrow, and I have 6:30 yoga tomorrow evening. Have a wonderful day.